Washington Democrats have controlled the White House and the Senate for years now. They've tried just about every tool in the liberal toolbox to turn the economy around, and yet, according to the latest Gallup tracking poll, just 19% of Americans think the economy is doing well. Millions are out of work, and close to 60% of Americans say things are getting even worse. So by basically any objective standard, you'd have to say that the Washington Democratic approach just hasn't worked. You'd have to say it's time for a change, to do something that can work. And that's just what Republicans are proposing again this week. While Senate Democrats dust off the same old poll-tested ideas for papering over the symptoms of malaise, Republicans are proposing concrete ideas aimed at igniting the economy and giving people real hope for something more, something better than what we've been getting for the last 5 years, something that speaks to their hopes and their potential. In other words, the other side is doubling down on the status quo while Republicans are offering change. Specifically, we'll be proposing numerous job-related amendments that have one unifying purpose, and that's to break through the stagnation of the Obama economy and kick domestic job creation into high gear. Our approach is simple. Let's give free enterprise and private initiative a chance. Let's use the tools that we know can lead to the creation of stable, well-paying 21st century jobs our constituents want and deserve. Too often, it seems our friends on the other side are single-mindedly focused on treating the symptoms of a down economy rather than actually providing struggling Americans with positive, meaningful paths to a better life. They just can't seem to get their minds around any legislative proposal that puts ordinary Americans in private initiative in the driver's seat instead of the government. Now, to me, that largely sums up the difference between the parties. But it goes even further than that. Because Washington Democrats aren't just reluctant to embrace any idea that doesn't emanate from Washington, they don't even want to hear about them. But if we're going to get this country back on track, that needs to change. And that's what Republicans are arguing for this week. The goal is to truly help those who aspire to join the middle class. If you really want to help people maximize their potential and build a better life, then it's time to start looking beyond Washington. Deep down, I think our Democratic friends understand this too. I think they understand that pushing big government legislation with words like jobs or affordable in the title isn't the same as actually creating jobs or actually making things more affordable. It's like handing somebody a menu instead of serving them a meal. And the tragic effects of this approach are clear. From an Affordable Care Act that turned out to be anything but, to a stimulus bill that seemed better at stimulating late-night punchlines than good-paying jobs. But despite all the evidence, Washington Democrats remain stubbornly attached to the same old playbook. And if you need proof, just take a look at the poll-tested, campaign-crafted agenda they rolled out this week, an agenda packed to the brim with base-pleasing show votes and few, if any, real solutions for the middle class. In fact, the nonpartisan Congressional Budget Office tells us that one of their proposals could cost up to 1 million jobs. Cost jobs, not create jobs. Look, this prioritization of party-pleasing show votes over actually helping grow the middle class is a tragedy for our country. The American people really deserve two national parties that are serious. And it's long past time for Democrats to start engaging with us in a serious effort to help Americans who've struggled so much in the Obama economy. The good news is they'll have their chance this week. Republicans are filing amendments on a whole range of job-centered policies, amendments that deserve not just a vote, but bipartisan support. For example, an amendment from the junior senator from South Carolina would eliminate Obamacare's 30-hour work week rule, which is hurting Americans' take-home pay in our already depressed economy. One of our members from Utah is putting forward an amendment to repeal Obamacare's job-destroying medical device tax. joined us in the past to get rid of this job killer, and they deserve the opportunity to help us eliminate it once and for all. Senior Senator from North Dakota has an amendment that would speed approval of the Keystone Pipeline. This is a project that would create thousands of jobs right away, and it's just a no-brainer. Senate Democrats need to join Democrats across the country who've already endorsed this common-sense initiative and help us pass it. And I personally plan to file an amendment that would give Congress the ability to stop EPA's backdoor national energy tax and would also keep unelected bureaucrats from blocking desperately needed jobs. Have helped bring about a depression. That's a depression with a capital D in many Kentucky coal counties. It's about time they started having a little compassion for the coal families who just want to put food on the table. And that's exactly what my amendment aims to do. So these are just a few of the many proposals Republican senators will be putting forward this week. They represent the kind of solutions our country needs right now to finally emerge from this awful economy. Real solutions that focus on creating well-paying jobs, increasing take-home pay, training a world-class workforce, and breaking a seemingly endless cycle of chronic high unemployment. As I've indicated, we've tried the Washington Democrat approach for years now. We know that it just hasn't worked. We also know their new agenda isn't serious, that it's nothing more than an Obamacare distraction strategy. And we know this because Democrats actually told us it was created by their campaign committee, that it was designed to appeal to their base, get some points for candor. So if the Democratic majority is finally ready to get down to business and create jobs, this is the moment to prove it. This is the moment to drop the endless campaigning. This is the moment to work with us to actually create jobs and help the middle class. And this is the moment for legislation that would do just that. Mr. President, I yield the floor.